Hello and welcome. My name's Marie and this is my yarn journey. Very exciting episode today. Well, for me anyway, because there is a couple of finished objects and they're quite substantial and have really helped my ins and outs, so I'm really pleased about that. My first... Oh no, let me just backtrack. So if you remember last week, I set myself a challenge to finish a certain item before the end of the month, which was last Saturday. And can you believe it? I actually managed it. Ta-da! I hope you can actually see this. Maybe I should have put it on to show you. Not that it's for me, but I did actually manage to finish Dwayne's sweater. So I was really pleased with that. This yarn is Drops Alaska, I think. But if you want to know for definite, have a look in my Ravelry queue because I've packed away the bag and everything because it was from last weekend. But yeah, it's blocked lovely. I knit it up, got it to the right length on everything, really happy with it. I did do a standard bind off on my cuffs for him, and because that's what the pattern calls for. But I did actually do, because you know my tension is pretty tight, so I didn't want it to be too tight on his arms. So I think this is a 2x1 ribbing pattern on here. So for every purl stitch, instead of pulling my stitch over in a standard bind off way, I did a knit through the back loop, just to give it a bit more stretch. And I do find that helps it stay neat and not flare out and look as baggy, but gives it a little bit more stretch. And he has tried it on and it looks great. He was a little bit concerned about it being itchy. This is a very rustic yarn, and I definitely think there's a massive difference between how, if you look at it now, you can see on my hand the drape that you get from this. This is 100% wool, I think, this yarn. It's very rustic, very, to me anyway, but it's really softened with blocking. I'm quite shocked at the difference in the fabric. All the stitches have really neatened up. The only thing to say is that it has grown. The length of the body has grown a bit, but not too significantly. And it was, when I finished it, he was a little bit concerned that it was going to be a little bit short. Now, I should have taken measurements really, but I didn't. I was just getting him to try it on quite often. The sleeve length, again, now these have grown quite a bit more than I was expecting, and they actually grew quite a bit, but he probably will fold the cuff back. Oopsie, we have an introduction.
Sorry.
So apologies for the interruption, and if any of the angles have changed and stuff. First week back at school, and my older one started college, so it's just getting used to being mum's taxi again. I was talking about the single malt. I think I've told you everything that I wanted to about that. I shocked myself really getting it finished. The actual pattern itself, I've not really talked about that. It's a really, really nice pattern to do. I noticed that from doing it a year ago to doing it now, I feel like my knitting has improved, my skill level, and my speed and everything else really has improved, you know, since the first time I started this and finishing it. But yeah, just so you're aware, it is the Drops Alaska that it's knit with. It is 100% wool, like I said before. It's an Aran weight, and I knit this on 4.5mm and 5.5mm. I went up half a 0.5 in the needle size. It's colour Toffee, which is number 66, and I ended up using 625 grams. The only modification I made was I added a couple of extra stitches under each of the arms, because I noticed at the point where my partner tried it on that it was a little bit snug in that area, so I just added those stitches, and I think that has benefited the overall fit of the garment. And I don't think there's much more to say about that one really, but yeah, I was just super pleased to get it done. You know, I can't actually remember what I had left to do. I think I had half a sleeve and then I had the remainder of the body to do. So yeah, I did get quite a bit of knitting done. Okay, and the next finished object is one that you've not seen for a while. And I got the yarn for this. So this is my second finished item this week, and it's one you've not seen for a while, like I say. And I don't know when I cast it on, just let me check. Oh, I cast this on July the 6th, so it will have been in a podcast before. This is the Musselburgh. Very popular pattern, so you've probably heard of it before. I got this yarn from the Woolly Good Gathering, and it's a Zakami yarn. And it's a merino fingering. Oh no, what's the colourway is Silent Serenade. And I used I thought that had fallen off my knee then, but it hadn't. Sorry, I always end up with Vinny's added hairs in these things. Anyway, this is the Musselburgh hat. And it's a colourway that I picked up for my partner for either doing hat and socks, and I decided to do a hat with this one. Very simple pattern. It is just like a massive tube. You do increases to get to the size dependent on your gauge, and then you just do decreases at the bottom, and that's it really. And there's not much more to it, but it is a very good fitting hat on him. I used pretty much all the 100 grams. I just kept a little bit back so I could put some in my blanket. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how the colours turned out. These are his sort of colours, and it will be a running theme, the browns and the greens. Yeah, and the reason I picked this one up, and it's not a 2023 whip, which is what I'm mainly working on, is I knew that there wasn't really much left to do on it, and I knew it could be, because obviously I'd finished the sweater, and that was for my August outs. I thought, what shall I do next, and what do I not really need to really think about? And I thought, well, if I do this, although it's a 2024 whip, it will give me a good start to the month for my yarn ins and outs, because I am going to Yarndale at the very end of the month, and yeah, no doubt there will be yarn purchases then, so I just wanted to make a good start and get something off the needles. What I also do need to mention is that and let me just take a pause with showing my projects just to talk about this, because that's the two finished objects. And as you know, I'm working towards clearing my needles, getting all my 2023 whips is one of my bingo challenge squares. And the idea is that I either finish or frog all my 2023 whips apart from blankets, because I won't have finished there'll be one blanket that I will definitely not have finished, and that's the Incredible blanket. Now, I've not worked on that this last week, unfortunately, but I have. You'll see everything else that I've been working on in a moment, but that's the only one that that I want to have on the needles going into the new year. So what I wanted to say was, I've currently, at this precise moment, got 8 whips on the needles, including the blankets, which there's 2. So I have got my Nuss Light, I've got my Salty Days sweater, my Daft Days cardigan, my Purl sweater, my Incredible blanket, my OLE mittens, my Underlace top, and my Advertence. So 2 are blankets, which leaves 6 garments / accessories, and the ones that are from 2023 is the Underlace top, the OLE mittens, and Purl sweater. So they're the last 3, which I can't believe I'm saying the last 3 from 2023 that I need to get off my needles. So that doesn't seem like too big of a challenge, especially with my motivation at the moment to get stuff finished. Now, you will notice that there's a couple missing there. There has been 2 items frogged. And if you've been watching my sock journey and all my little sock videos, you will understand why these have been frogged. And it is the petal drop socks and the berry socks. And the reason I have frogged both of those is because they were both done on a much smaller stitch count than I'm now knitting my socks on. So I realised that they weren't going to fit, or they weren't going to be a good fit. So I probably will revisit both of those patterns in the future, and look out for a video coming up some point over the weekend with what's going on with my sock journey, sock saga, whatever it needs to be called these days. It is going to be a running theme on my channel, because I'm determined to keep going, keep practicing with the socks, and, you know, get the perfect fit. So that's where we're at that's where I'm at the moment with my projects, and I'm really pleased with there only being 8. And I know a few of them are big garments, but if you think about the Daft Days cardigan, that's just 2 sleeves. The Salty Days sweater, that's 2 sleeves. I can't remember whereabouts I'm up to on the Nuss Light. I don't think I've done a lot on that. So yeah, I feel like I'm in quite a good position now. I am really tempted to cast on a few new things, and I have cast on just to give you a bit of a spoiler, I have cast on my next sock project just to try and ease that a bit, just have something little on the needles that isn't going to take me too long to get finished, but then still primarily be working on these projects. So that I did go off on a bit of a side tangent there, but I know that you've been following along with my progress and my aim at the moment to get these whips off the needles. So I thought, you know, it's a good time to revisit as I've finished a few things and tell you what's left to do. So when I came to decide what I was going to pick up after finishing the Musselburgh, my oldest son was here, and he dove into my basket, because I have a basket next to my seat with the whips that I'm currently working on, or I want to work on quite soon, and I have about 4 or 5 projects there, and he picked out what he wanted me to do next, and he picked it up, and I was like, oh, not that, I have to pick up stitches I have to put it on the needles to do the sleeve. So can you guess what it is? And I've made really good progress on this because I just did it. He said it, so I did it. One of those. Gave me the push to get it done. And this is my Purl sweater, which I think is looking absolutely fabulous. I'm hopeful this is going to be really nice once it's spin blocked. It's going to be a very cozy, very warm sweater. For this, I'm using woolly knit cone, and this is a merino, and it's a 500-gram cone. It's in plater. I've got 2 of these, and I'm holding it double. It's an absolutely gorgeous colour. I love this. Yeah, like I say, it's going to be lovely and cozy and warm. I have been a little bit at times disappointed with the quality of this yarn. I know it is a more reasonably priced yarn, but you will have seen it in previous videos if you've watched some of my podcasts. There is a few spots on the sweater where the yarn is very inconsistent. But overall, I think it's going to look nice. And in the yarn in general, it gives a slight mould effect because of the way it is spun and plied together. But this is what I've done this week. So I picked up for the sleeve. I've done all the decreases, and then I am just on the ribbon. I'll just for the cuff, and I'll just show you in comparison. That's where I'm at the moment. So I'm thinking I should easily be able to get this done by the end of the weekend and off the needles. Now, I've no idea how much I will have used in here. It's going to be very interesting when I come to weigh it at the end, and blocking it and seeing it finished and blocked. I've had this on the needles for quite a while, and it will be nice to have it done. Mona's had hers for absolutely ages. But yeah, highly recommend this pattern, although I would say that be prepared, the ribbon's a bit of a slog. And I'll just tell you actually who the pattern's by. This is a Purl sweater by Morcaknit. Now, I've done the recommended size in this pattern, and it's a very oversized sweater compared to what I'm used to. But I did actually do it in the needles recommended in the pattern. So because my tension is quite tight, it will mean it's a little bit smaller, but it's my first time doing one super oversized, and it's not. Sometimes I find with an oversized garment, I feel like I'm being drowned in it, and it just looks like I'm wearing something that's too big. But I'm hoping with this one it'll just be a lovely cozy warm sweater, and something a bit different. You know, you don't want all your garments to be the same because it would be quite boring, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm really pleased with that. That should be done very, very soon, and hopefully in my next podcast I will be able to show you that finished. Fingers crossed. Okay, the next project that I want to show you, I've not done a lot on this, but I have done a little bit. When I've needed a project that literally is a stockinette in the round, I have been doing a few waist decreases, but it's not been difficult, and I think I've just done the last one. This is my Underlace top, by Lily Kate France. Done in a Fibre for the People yarn, which is 50% cotton, 50% merino, I think. And it's a lovely colour called Sky. Yeah, I'm just doing it on the body. It's on 2.75mm needles, so it is, you know, slow progress when you're knitting on it. Let me see if I moved my... Yeah, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done 6 rows on that this week, so not massive progress, but it's a bit of progress. And every bit helps, doesn't it, when you're doing something that's that tiny. I do need to get a few more needle stoppers when I go to Yarndale, and root out some of my other ones actually. That one has been my knit in the car on the school run sort of thing, so, and they only went back on Tuesday, so I've not had every day to do that. Right, so the last project that I want to talk to you about, and the last thing that I've been working on this week, is my Advertence. And I have made quite a bit of progress on this, and I'm really pleased. I have managed to do at least my 6 rows every day. I've got into a good habit of when I come down in the morning and I'm having my morning brew, I then crack on and I get my 6 rows done. So I've just added in, I'll put it up to the camera and see if you can see, I've just added in this beautiful purple colour, which is such a me colour. It's getting very, very long now, so you probably can't see it very well. I would say that, and I might have to pop a photo in after so that I can show you a bit better. The earlier sections in this blanket or slanket, whatever you want to call it, there was a higher contrast. Now I've purchased from Expression Fibre Arts the actual colours that were dyed specifically for this pattern. And there was 12 different yarns, and it was 12 monthly clues, and it was last year's knit along, mystery knit along. So I have got it as the patterns recommended. And now, as you can see, these are quite a good contrast up until about here. And then if you notice, I don't know in this section if I've made a mistake because I've put it down and not picked it up for quite some time and come back to it and maybe not marked my rows off correctly. But I feel as though there isn't much contrast in this section and it looks a bit murky and muddy. Now I know that this colour is like a grey colour, so that might just be the reason. But it just doesn't stand out. When I look back on camera, it might look different because I know that I was quite surprised when I looked on camera and I was like, oh, it looks quite good on camera compared to, you know, how you see it in real life when I was editing last week. But yeah, where's my stitch marker? Sorry, because I've not shown you that, have I? So there's my stitch marker, which I moved when I'd filmed last week. And I've done all these rows, so I'm very pleased. I'm on the 7th clue now. So, and it definitely seems doable. I'm enjoying having these 6 rows to do in the morning. And doing this is great because it's not like, it's a good way to, because you need to be engrossed. And I have to look at the pattern on my iPad. Doing it first thing in the morning I'm finding it's good because for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm enjoying my morning brew, do this knitting, bit of quiet time, nobody's up and about, and it's like a bit of me time, and I'm not doing the scrolling on the phone, which is a bugbear of mine. and we all do it from time to time, don't we? So yeah, still think that this purple would stand out better if there was a different contrast colour, so be interesting to see when I join in the next grey colour how it looks. But yeah, I just think the cream colours stood out better. We shall see, go, because I've still got, so that's the 7th clue, so I've got another 5 colours to add in yet. So, and we get some more purples. I think we get pink and we get black. So yeah, it's very, very exciting to be back working on it. And the yarn is absolutely beautiful. It's nice to have one that I'm doing each day that is engaging, but then I'm still having time then to get through my other projects. And actually it's a great lap size blanket now, so in the week there was a couple of days where it was a bit chillier, so I just chucked it over my legs to cover me while I was knitting on it, which was great. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the August ins and outs. I know I did mention it last week, so I'm probably just going over stuff again, but you know, with me finishing Dwayne's sweater, it's made it for a really good. Oh, and I will so just to run over again, the yarns in was 750 grams, out was 1,220 grams, can't believe it. That was my eclipse top, my cloud sweater, and Dwayne's sweater. Dwayne's sweater was 625 grams, which was fantastic. And that meant that I ended the month on a minus of 470 grams. So at the moment, my running total for the year is just over 15 skeins in. So I'm at a plus for the year at the moment, which I don't feel is too bad. You know, what's 15 skeins equate to in garments? Maybe 3 garments and 2 accessories. And could I knit that up in by the end of the year? Possibly. Well, actually, more than possibly. That's definitely doable with the rate that I'm knitting at. But I've had a boost here, haven't I? With so I still don't think, because I've got Yarndale, that I'm going to end up in a negative. But I don't think I will have done too bad with what I've brought in and what's gone out knitting wise, unless something crazy happens in the last few months of the year, who knows. And then yeah, so I just want to talk about plans going forward. So this next week, as I've said, Purl sweater, I'm hoping in the next day or so, or at least by the end of the weekend, to get that finished. I'm going to continue with my 6 rows a day, and then, you know, hopefully, what have I done? I've done a week there, so I've probably got about 80 days left to go. So I should have it done by the end of the year, which would be fantastic, which means that out of my 2023 whips, the only thing that should realistically be left on my needles going into the new year will be the incredible blanket. And as far as my other whips go, I'm hoping that this month, September, I will still be able to carry on working on those. I am itching to get a new cast on the needles, and I think it will be the porcelain sweater. After getting this colour from my creative garage and thinking that I want to put that in that sweater, yeah, it has reignited my urge to get that on the needles soon. And I want to get Mum's slippers, but I'm trying my best just to hold off, keep saying, just get this one done and then start it. Just get this one done, because the more I can actually get of these larger garments off the needles before Yarndale, the better it will be for counteracting any yarn purchases. Although I'm going to say this now and probably regret it. Don't watch this video after I've been to Yarndale. I don't actually need, I don't need a lot of yarn, but there is one sweater that I have seen a Homespun house wearing, and I really want to cast this on, and it's the Stone Crop pullover by Andrea Mowry. Now, she did it in a dark purple, and I'm sure I mentioned it last week or the week before on my podcast, so I'm probably repeating myself, but I really, really want to cast that on. There was just something about it that I really liked. Now, I might keep my eyes out for some yarn for that, because Andrea Mowry, in her pattern photos, she does it in a navy blue, and a Homespun house did it in, I'm sorry, for some reason I just can't remember her name. Names aren't my thing for remembering. The dyer of a Homespun house, she did it in a dark purple. So I do think I want to do it in a darker colour. Now, whether I get something at Yarndale or whether I actually decide to get a commercial yarn, or I've just thought, actually, you know, I've really want to, what weight is this? Yeah, it's 4-ply. You know which yarn I really want to try and I could use for this, and I've just come up with the idea, Kinross 4-ply, and I think they normally have someone there who has the Kinross 4-ply. Oh, that is an idea. Because I do want a solid colour for the main colour. Let's have a look how much I'll need. So, according to this, I would probably do... see, I don't often look these days at what they recommend for the ease. I more go for a size that's quite, like, just a little bit larger than my bust circumference, and so yeah, the fourth size in this pattern is a 42.5 inch, and I'm just under a 40 inch bust measurement. Well, I measured myself anyway, and it's, well, it does actually say the recommended ease is -2 to +2. Now, I wouldn't want negative ease, and I do want a little bit of, I don't like things that are really clinging to my stomach. So, yeah, I think I'd probably do size 4. And it says for the main colour, for size 4, I need, does it say metres? 1,400 metres. So that means I'm going to need 4 skeins, don't I? So yeah, I'll need 4 skeins, because most of them are around 400 metres. So yeah, 4 skeins of the main colour. And I could potentially get some Kinross 4-ply at Yarndale. That would be a fantastic idea. And I know they probably do some lovely darker colours like burgundy or purple or the blue. It's just thinking what's going to go in with what I'm going to wear with it, with my... But if I wore jeans, any of those colours would look good. And I've also got some black trousers that I could wear with it as well. Yeah, and what do I need? See, now then I have no idea what I'm going to do with the contrast colour. The contrast colour is Spin Cycle, which I know she uses quite a lot, which in this sweater, I don't know, maybe the effect will be quite different if I don't use Spin Cycle, but I'll have to have a think about that. But yeah, I think I've made a decision there on the main colour. that if they have the Kinross 4 ply, I might get that at Yarndale. The other things that I'm thinking, because I've been thinking about what I want to get at Yarndale, I need some needle stoppers. What else did I think I needed? There was some other notion type things that I wanted. Oh, progress keepers. I could just do a few new ones of them. And other than that, there's not a lot I need, because a lot of the projects, as you've seen, that I want to cast on soon, they are, I've already got yarn in stash for them. Although the other person that is going, and Eva, I could probably get my contrast colour from. That's an idea to think about. Isla is going to Yarndale, and I absolutely love her yarns. As you've seen from my previous things, I made a garment to wear to the World of Good Gathering in April in one of her yarns, and I've also got a quantity to make the Calm Down cardigan in a lovely purple colour. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that. But she's there, and I do love her yarns, so for her to be there and me not to buy anything would be very, very surprising. So yeah, I have got a few things there. But last year when I went to Yarndale, it was my first festival, and I didn't have, although I'd written down a few ideas for patterns that I might want to get yarn for, and I did get some of those because I got the contrast colours for my stripes in my stripe hype from Siobhan Crafts, and that's a lovely garment that I really love. But a lot of my choices at Yarndale last year were random one skeins, and there was quite a lot of them, and I'm going to be working through them for quite some time. So this year I feel like, you know, I've been back, I'd only been back knitting about 9 months then. I'd not really learned about yarn and about fibre content, and I feel like I'm a lot more knowledgeable going to it this year. That does not mean that there's any less excitement, or there won't be, oh that's nice, and wanting to get all the single skeins, which just look so pretty hung up, don't they? But then it's finding stuff to do with them. Anyway, I think I'm getting a bit rambly now about all that. I hope you've enjoyed the video and you've got plenty of knitting done while watching. And yeah, comment down below what you're working on, what your goals are for this latter part of the year. And oh, if you're going to Yarndale, let me know. Thanks for watching. Happy knitting. See you next time. Bye.